Yes, welcome back to Pure Coys TV, and this is the state of Spurs. Today, I am joined by Alan from Tottenham Logic TV as we deep dive into all things Tottenham Hotspur, the highs, the lows, the debates, and everything in between. We want you, the Spurs family, to get involved in the comments, share your thoughts, and be part of the conversation. And while you're there, please don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, but not just to Pure Coys TV, but to Tottenham Logic TV as well. Two channels, one passion, Spurs. Big up, Alan. How you doing, mate?
Really, really well, mate. I know we've got the boring international break right now, but it's a lot more bearable when you get a win just before it, because the last 7 were absolutely horrible. So, yeah, a lot more optimistic now, mate. Thanks for having me on, by the way, as well.
No worries, mate. Yeah, you're absolutely right. This 7-game, winless international break thing was starting. I think it got to everyone, didn't it? And I think, the passion at the end from Thomas Frank, as he said, not just to get that win after 3 draws, but to end that hoodoo and get that monkey off their back was quite a big thing. So, yeah, mate, let's talk about Thomas Frank. What are your thoughts on his start as Tottenham manager?
The best way to describe it is he's new. So we have to, I know for the last, 8 years, we've been told to be patient. And we're being told to be patient again. So I know how hard that is. But we've changed a lot in the background as well. With Enoch, we've, got rid of Daniel Levy. We've got rid of a lot of backroom staff, completely new coaches coming in now, which are a lot more high quality than we had before. Thomas Frank's obviously come in as well. And I think he is doing a really, really good job. I really do. And I think as well, I think he hasn't even started yet. I think, like a lot of people say, he starts off slow. And I think he has started off slow. But that's because he's trying to learn the players. He's trying to learn what they can and can't do. He's trying to put forward his way of playing, his philosophy. And he's only been here a few months. And we're still getting points on the board, even though sometimes we're not playing that well. Some people will say that's not sustainable, and other people will say that's what good teams do. So it's like a 50-50 depends on how you look at it. But if you think about some of the games we've already played this season, away at Ellen Road, and this is not a jipe at just Ange, this is a jipe at the last probably 5 or 6 years. In that game, normally, a Spurs team would go there just before an international break and probably lose that game. He found a way to win, and it was his tactics he was changing, little tweaks he was making in the second half to make us a lot better. I reckon our second half was a lot stronger than our first. And these little games like this, like West Ham away, we haven't won there since we had Jose Mourinho. And I know they're in a poor state at the moment, but they're normally always in a poor state, to be honest, but we always come away with nothing. So for us to go to West Ham away as well and win that 3-0 and very comfortably, it could have been more if Kudus wasn't so desperate to score a goal and he could have just passed the ball. But I know why he was doing it. But these sort of games before, we wouldn't be winning or getting points from. And he seems to be able to just find a way to either get a draw over the line or a win. And for examples as well, like the Bodo Glimt game, normally we would have just filtered out and lost that game. The Brighton game, you can see last season, we were 2-0 up and just fell apart. This time we were 2-0 down and fought our way back. So you can see a massive difference in the mentality of we don't want to ever lose. And you can't deny the start to the season for Frank either. 3rd in the league, which is brilliant, in my opinion. We were 17th last season. You can think about we've only lost 1 game this season. We've won 4 of those games, which is still, I think, it's over 50% win rate as well. We're undefeated in the last 7. There's not much you can say, really, against Frank to say he's had a poor season. If you see any Spurs fans on Twitter, on social media saying his football was boring, I want him out, I think they're fake accounts, because any genuine Tottenham fan I've spoken to are all very, very happy with him.
Yeah, no, I bang on with absolutely everything you said there. I agree totally. I think the people who are waiting for Frank to fail, waiting for Spurs to lose, are people that either didn't want him in the first place, or that people that didn't want Ange to get sacked. Sometimes we got to move on, and you're right. Frank is renowned for starting slowly at every club he's been at, and if one defeat in 11 or one defeat in 10 is starting slow, I take it all day long. You know,
Definitely.
had a fantastic start to the season. Yes, the football's not been swashbuckling. Yes, we haven't played teams off the park. But as I said before, we finished 17th last season. It's not a quick fix. It's not new manager comes in, everything's rosy. You know, we finished 17th for a reason because we're poor, and we are still going to concede chances. We are still going to lose games because we're not where we want to be yet. But Frank has started really well for me. And it goes on to my next question is, has Thomas Frank already had a noticeable impact on the way Spurs play?
Yeah, so we can go to the straight to the obvious. We know how to defend, and when I think, what was that stat I saw in the last game? We haven't conceded a goal in the last 15 minutes of any match this season, and that has to be down to Thomas Frank and the coaching staff, and that shows you that the concentration levels of the Spurs team are absolutely on top for the 90 minutes. So yes, there's going to be goals we concede, like you say. Yes, there's going to be times where we will make a mistake, but you can see the mentality of, we do not want to concede. He's starting to sort the back line out first and progressively moving forward. Have you noticed the defence got sorted out first, then the midfield started improving with Bergvall, Gray and Sarr all started improving, and now you can see small improvements in Odegaard and Tell, and Johnson to an extent was playing different kind of football that he was before, and the only one that really is not improving, has regressed, is probably Richarlison, but we won't make this video negative. But yeah, so I can straight away see the defence will start, then the midfield started working better. Now the attack's starting to be more fluid, especially when you put Xavi in the middle. It seems to click a bit more because you need that number 10 to make things happen. And it was just, we were so balanced in the last game against Leeds, and I think that's why we got over the line. And I can't think of any other differences other than just more compact, more hard to beat. The resilience is there. And I'll tell you one thing, actually, I've just remembered. Our physicality seems a lot better. Like that Palhinha in midfield has made a massive difference for us. We're more compatible. We fight more. We're not bullied as much as we were. SARS does a lot more than you think as well. Kudus has won more duels than anybody in the top 5 leagues, I think. So this battling we've got as well really helps us for away games like that against Leeds at Ellen Road. And we really needed it for that game as well.
Yeah, I do feel like one of the first things Frank has done is, like you say, he's sorted the defence out. And not necessarily, like I say, we're still going to concede chances. We're still going to concede goals because effectively it's still the same defence as last season. You know, obviously Palhinha, like you say, is helped massively. I feel like in Palhinha and Kudus, we signed men. You know, we're
Yes.
so used to Spurs signing either youngsters or lightweight players. And I think Xavi Simons is maybe a bit lightweight, but that's a different kind of player. But
Yeah.
in Kudus and in Palhinha, we sign men. And, you know, if I was in the centre of midfield and I had Palhinha up against me, maybe wouldn't fancy it as much as if, you know, I don't know, someone maybe we had even a Basuma, because even though Basuma could be physical, at times he was a player that he was either on it or he wasn't. But
Yeah.
this is an interesting one because I thought that I did a show last night and the topic was very much, are Spurs playing well or are we getting away with it? And it's like, do you think the Tottenham defence has improved or are we getting away with it? Because we are still conceding chances. Brought up a stat last night and I haven't got it on me, sadly, but it was one of those, it looked like a star constellation where it said like best defense and worst defense. And we were pretty much in the lower part of it. So we were still like conceding lots of chances, XG wise. So are we getting away with it? Or do you think I think he's improved it definitely, but I don't know what you think.
Definitely improved, but it's hard to say getting away with it because try and name a side that doesn't concede chances. So when people are saying, yeah, we concede a lot of chances, again, Thomas Frank is new, and I'm really happy with what he's doing early in the season. He's trialing things. He's swapping the midfield around. He's swapping the defenders around, even the fullbacks. Sometimes it's Spence, sometimes it's Udogie. He hasn't got a first 11 that he's gone, right, that's what I'm sticking with. He's trialing it out. He's swapping things around. And when you do that, that you are going to concede chances because there isn't that unity in the side yet. You look at someone like the Gooners, and I don't want to mention them, but they've been going for 6 years now with roughly the same amount of players. They've added here and there, haven't they? But their backline has been the same for the last 3 or 4 years, near enough, with the added Timber in there. But we haven't got that yet. We haven't got that. We can't even pick a first team midfield yet. We don't know who our first choice 3 is. He doesn't know yet. So I'm glad he's doing this early on, and while he's doing it, we're still getting points. So this sort of thing will affect you, and it will cause you to concede chances, but also mistakes have led to chances, which was probably not on that chart, because obviously you got like Vicario, misreading the cross or something like that, and that's led to a chance. Normally, if a keeper comes out, he catches that. So that wouldn't lead to a chance. So there's little tweaks that Frank will do, and we will become tighter. I do believe as well that we're going to concede chances against teams that we on paper are supposed to beat, because we will be more front foot football and they will be trying to counter that. I think, when we played against Manchester City, Haaland has scored against every single team other than Spurs. And that's because we concentrated on keeping them out rather than concentrating on trying to score goals. We were trying to win the ball back higher up the pitch, and we nullified Haaland completely. I think it's a weird thing to say, but when we're playing the Chelseas, the Arsenals, Liverpools, you'll see us more defensively structured than we would be if we was playing against Leeds, West Ham and Burnley, for example. So, and we've had a start to the season where we've played those lower end sides and gone for goals. I think when we play these next few games, we're going to see us more compact, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting one. I think, I don't know what you think. I actually think we're playing better away from home than we are at home currently.
We're undefeated,
I think we find,
away.
yeah, I think we find it really hard to break teams down at home, and I don't know whether that's because we haven't got the quality in those forward areas as yet. Whereas away from home, we can soak up a bit more pressure, catch teams on the break. I do think we are set up a little bit better for counter-attacking football. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's by choice. I think he wants us to play that sort of style. I think he did the same sort of style with Brentford as well, where we had Mbeumo, Sade and Wissa on the counter, which are all three are very, very pacey. And I think this is what he will be leading us into doing as well. I think because he's come to Spurs and we expect more, I don't think fans would be happy if we counter-attacked every single team we played. I don't think they'd be happy if we sat back against Burnley at home and didn't go for goals. So I think he's even adjusting the way he plays, because he's been used to the last 5-6 years being the underdog. We're not going to be the underdog every single week. And so I think he has to adjust the way he thinks as a manager as well, and start realising that this team actually is on paper better. We can't be sitting back and trying to counter. I think while he's new, he's just keeping us solid for now, keeping us as a counter-attacking side. And I think he'll have plans going forward. Once he gets the players he trusts and knows what they can and can't do, plus he's going to improve certain players as well, like he already is, then he will, I think, adapt to a more attacking style. He did the same when Brentford first came into the Premier League. He just made them hard to beat. And then over the years, they became very attacking. And I think last year they were the 5th highest goal scorers. So he's not a defensive manager. He just makes sure that your defense is solid first, which is like everybody says all the time. You can win games with attack, but you can win leagues with defense. And if you've got like we saw last season, if you've got a poor defense, it doesn't matter how many goals you score, because you're always going to be vulnerable at the back. So I prefer to have a stronger defense and then work on the forward play. And I think he's done it in the right order.
Yeah, I think it's every good manager always starts, the base is their defense, isn't it? And I think going forward, for me, we haven't, like I said earlier, we haven't got the attacking players yet. That we haven't even that number 8 in midfield. I don't think we got that ball playing midfielder that can control games, that almost like a bit of a metronome, that that ticks things over, keeps things moving. I don't think we've got that player yet, and I think once we do, we're going to be a lot better in possession. Once we got those players in the forward areas, we're going to be a lot better with possession as well. Because at the moment, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Spurs can't keep hold of the ball," which we can. We just
Yeah,
seem to give it away a lot. And I think for me, I don't know what you think, it's because we haven't got those players in those forward areas, and we haven't got that one midfielder that can control it. Kudus is literally the only one that if you get the ball up to him, it'll stick. And players like Romero and Van der Ven, when Kudus gets the ball, he must be like, "Oh, okay, I got 20
thank
seconds
God.
where I can just relax for a little bit."
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I agree. So it's a tough one because you've got Archie Gray that's got the potential to do that, but he's not at that level yet. You can see improvements. His strength has definitely improved. His passing range has improved. His know-how is getting better. But like you say, he's not the finished article, and it's going to take time. And we need someone in there he can learn off. I don't think he's a number 6. I think he's a number 8. And that's the problem. We've got loads of number 8s. We've got Sarr, who is brilliant at winning the ball back. He will cover every blade of grass. He can get you a goal. His work rate is insane, but he can't get on the ball and dictate games either. You've got Bergvall that can do that, but again, he's very young. He's still learning, but he sees himself as a number 10 now, so he might not even be playing in the 8 anymore. Frank sees him as a number 10 as well. We've got Bentancur, who for me is a good player, but he isn't the dictator either. He can't dictate games. He used to. It was weird because when we first got him, he used to be insane. But I think that injury has really, really affected him. He's not the old Bentancur we used to have, but he's still a good player. But he's, again, like you say, we haven't got that player that can just keep hold of the ball and tight spaces, and when you're getting pressed, not give the ball away. Bit like what we missed from years ago was Modric. Remember how good he was at that? He just literally, you could have 6 players around him and he would come out with the ball somehow. He just had that skill. And so I understand what you're saying. We haven't got that player in the 8. Who would you like? Let's say we went into January and let's say Basuma left, so we had space to bring someone in. What number 8 would you bring in to do that role? Let's say money wasn't an object or anything like that. Just your ideal number 8, and you could bring him in right now.
I don't know.
Sorry to put you on the spot, mate.
Yeah, I actually don't know of any number 8s I can think of offhand that I would like. Oh yeah, there's a player I'd want. Obviously, I like Wharton, but he's more of a 6. But yeah, I think that's why Spurs went for Morgan Gibbs-White. I don't know whether he's the answer now. I've seen him. I really like Elliot Anderson from Forest.
Yep.
For me,
Yep.
he would probably be my choice. But again, he's young, but he's really talented. Doesn't lose the ball very much. Keeps things moving, keeps things ticking over. So yeah, for me, I'd probably go for an Elliot Anderson. I think that kind of signing is achievable.
Yeah. See, I would agree. See, that was the name I had in my head when I asked you. He just seems to, like, the ball seems to just stick to him, and even when he seems to make a mistake, he gets it back, and he gets it back quick. So he's really impressed me as well, and he does play in that little 8 role as well, which is like perfect for what we need. I'm really hoping that Frank can improve Archie Gray, and we can save money in that area and sign a left forward and put a lot of money into it. Obviously Sonny's gone now, and I think that left hand side, unless Tel and Odeberg can hold that down by January, which at the moment it's obviously dubious because they've not shown us that level yet. But for example, if we spent the money we needed to spend in the left wing position on, let's say, a dream signing like Semenyo, then I'd put all my money on that, because he would make that massive, massive difference. And he would help the midfield out as well, because his work rate is insane. Same as Kudus.
Yeah, I agree. Semenyo wise, I mean, imagine a 3 behind the striker of Semenyo, Simmons, and Kudus. I mean, that that's a front
That'd be
three
one of the
we're
best
holding.
in the league, mate. Honestly, it would. It'd be one
Without
of
a
the
doubt,
best in the league. Yeah,
that would get into any those players would get into any of the top six for me, or top four or
yeah.
five. Maybe, Simmons is a bit slower. I don't know how you feel about Simmons. It is early days, a little bit disappointed so far. I've seen bits that I think are really good, but I really hoped he would come in and hit the ground running. But it's taken a bit
I, t-
more
I, t-
time for him.
I tell you what, this might give you a bit more uplift about him. Do you remember Bergvall on his first half of the season when he was giving the ball away, getting needless yellow cards? He wasn't up to pace of the Premier League. He kept getting caught out. He kept getting caught on the ball. And we was like, maybe he's not at the level. And then it took him 6 months. He adapted and he became a very, very solid player. I think I can see exactly the same in Xavi. He's doing the same things. He's getting needless yellow cards. He's getting caught out on the ball. He's getting pushed off the ball too easily as well. But when I saw him against Leeds, and the reason why I was so excited about the Leeds game was Leeds are super physical, absolutely physical side, and they will bully a lot of teams at Elliott Road. They will, mark my words. They were that good. But he seemed to hold his own in that game. And he seemed to not get pushed off the ball so easy. He seemed to dribble past players a lot quicker. He seemed to be faster at making decisions. I know he tried to do that with Bona when he should have just played it through. But I'm glad he did that because it showed he was growing in confidence and showed that he, like, all of a sudden, you know what? I'm here now and I'm going to show you what I can do. And if he pulled off that Rabona, everyone would have been going, wow. Do you know what I mean? Especially if that had turned out to be an assist for a goal. So I do believe that in that game against Ellen Road was the growth, the birth of Xavi. I think now, if we keep him in that 10, we're going to see a lot of good things from him. He did a lot of good things in that game. And so I'm excited now. If he had another poor performance against Leeds and he got bullied, then I would have been worried. But now I've seen that, I think he'll be okay.
No, I do tend to agree. I think the Leeds game finally he was in that number 10 position. And he did. Like I say, there were bits of magic that he did, little twists, little turns, little through balls that he's not quite got that understanding, I don't think, with his teammates. And I think once that comes, he'll be absolutely fine. A really good ball through to Odebear, I think, in the first half. And then a lovely little dink over to Porro.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, really good move that was. And Porro messed it up at the end. But out of the players that obviously that have played for Spurs this season, who's been, in your opinion, the best player so far for Spurs?
Kudus. Like, I don't have to think about it. There's Kudus is obviously. I saw some stats. He's done more sprints than any player in the top 5 leagues. He's completed more dribbles than any player in the top 5 leagues. He's got 4 assists. He's scored a goal. But it's not just all of that. His work rate is incredible. He's won more duels than anybody as well. So, like, he's winning the ball back more than anyone else on the pitch, and that's including Palhinha, by the way. So he's getting back, and you know what he's doing as well? He's making Porro a better player. Porro doesn't have to be exposed all the time, because last season Porro had Johnson, and he was getting exposed time and time again because he had no help. Now Kudus is doing both. He's helping out Porro, and he's also causing massive problems going forward. He's improved our first 11 tenfold. He's easily our best player of the season so far. He's an outlet on the right-hand side that we haven't got on the left at the minute. So, but can you imagine if, like I said, we got a Semenyo on the other side? How the hell are you going to stop Kudus and Semenyo? Like, you can't double up then. You're going to have to figure out what you're going to do for that. It would be absolutely insane. It's like having 2 Kuduses. And but yeah, he's definitely. But I'll have to give a shout out to Palhinha as well, because he's been getting stick, and I don't know why. Like, people are trying to point out things he can't do rather than concentrate on the things he can do. Like, some people are saying he can't do long passes. Well, he can, because I've seen him do it loads of times, and they were pinpoint to the player. They're saying things like he's not very good on the ball. Well, he is. He just gets it and passes it to the player that is good on the ball. That's all he has to do. And he's won more tackles than anybody this season as well. I think he's won 25 tackles already. He gets the ball back and he just gives it to the forward players. That's all he needs to do. He's very, very good. His positional awareness is amazing. He's somebody that we needed physically in that midfield to win us games, and he's done that. So Kudus for me, player of this year so far. and Palhinha second.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with it. I think Kudus has been absolutely fantastic. Said in the video before the Leeds game, he's been great, but he needs to start scoring goals. You know, he scored against Leeds. Let's hope he continues that. You're absolutely bang on with Kudus, and if we got a Semenyo say on the left, I think we would be hard to stop. And then hopefully if Mawani gets fit and he goes up front, I think that's a forward line to terrify most defenses in the Premier League and even Europe. And then for me, Palhinha has been absolutely brilliant. What a signing. For me, I absolutely love him. Like you say, he wins all his tackles. People are saying, oh, he gets booked all the time. He's only been booked twice this season. And one of those was when he scored and he took his shirt off. So,
Yes.
I think Palhinha's doing fantastic. And I got to give a shout out to Mickey van der Ven as well, because so many fans when Frank come in, said, "Oh, Mickey van der Ven won't be able to defend. He's a poor defender. He's only good at chasing back. That was his strength." I think he's showing already what a great defender he is. Reads the game well, great on the ball, doesn't ever get flustered. Absolutely love Mickey van der Ven.
I can't believe anybody that said Van der Ven doesn't know how to defend, doesn't know how to defend themselves then, because he's shown us time and time again. All you have to do is look back at the Europa League last year, and we were playing pragmatic football then in the quarterfinals, the semi-finals and the final, and he was absolutely exceptional. He was brilliant. So to say just because Frank's come in that he's not going to be able to defend is absolutely insane. He's strong, and people as well, they say this: he can't header the ball. The amount of headed clearances I see him do, I'll need to get some stats on that, because I think there was a game where I did check the stats, and he did more headed clearances than anyone else on the pitch. So to say he can't clear with his head is unreal. He wins most of his duels. He's very hard to get past, and times when we are playing further forward, he's a brilliant asset to have when the ball comes over the top. So brilliant defender in my opinion, and it's a good shout out actually. Yeah, because I'd say he'd be third in my best players, but equal with Romero, because Romero's been just as good too.
Yeah, do you know what? One of the things I like about Van der Ven as well is, and it's something that probably most people miss, is when he gets the ball, because Spurs do like to play around with it at the back, but when he gets the ball on that left-hand side, when he puts it out to the left, he puts it like the pass is hard. He doesn't ever underhit. It's like he drills it out there to try and get Spurs moving quickly. Is there any players this season so far that you've been disappointed in? Someone needs to up their game a little bit.
Yeah, Richarlison for one. He started off really well. I'll give him his due. He scored 3 goals this season, so we start with the positives. I think he's got an assist as well. So the numbers look good. But when you actually watch him play, it's literally the ball goes to him, it goes to his feet. And I'm not exaggerating here, I promise you. The ball. I watched him live against Bournemouth, and I was right near him as well. And I was watching him a lot. The ball goes to him. He goes to his feet, he controls it, and then he falls over. He looks for the foul. He doesn't look to get past the play. He doesn't look to link up. And he falls to the floor. And 9 times out of 10, he doesn't get the free kick. He's on the floor. We're under pressure. The ball comes straight back. And the defence are under pressure. I think the few times Bournemouth got chances from it. And I was getting so frustrated. I would never boo my players, ever. Like, when I'm at the ground, all I try and do is motivate them to do better, because booing them is not going to help, is it? And but he was so poor. And then there was a game, I think it was against Wolves, where Spence had the ball. I might be wrong with the team, but Spence had the ball. He looked up to play it through. Richarlison was standing still in an offside position. He was standing still. He wasn't calling for the ball. He wasn't looking along the line. He was just standing there. And I thought, Spence had to play it out wide. In the end, the ball went off the pitch for a throw on to Wolves. But for me, if you're desperate to, like, you got a World Cup season coming up, and you're standing in an offside position, you're not even looking along the line, you're not even calling for the ball, you're just standing there. For me, that's what's happening to you if you're doing that as a striker. And you've got Solanke and Mawani coming back. So for me, that was really frustrating. And people say as well, he's so dangerous from crosses. Against Burnley, he scored 2 goals from crosses. Since then, nothing. So he's the one I'm disappointed with the most. And I think it doesn't help as well in his defence that we haven't had anyone else to rotate him in, and he's been playing every single game. And he can't do that. He can't play every single game. I am really surprised he's not got injured again. So he's done well in that aspect to stay fit as well. Another player probably disappointing so far is Vicario. If you look at his stats, his shot stopping is excellent. He's done some really good saves this season again. But it's that indecisiveness when a ball comes across. My heart's in my mouth every single time. The ball comes across. He can't judge the flight of the ball, and that is like a basic for a goalkeeper. The amount of times I watch training sessions, I watch nearly every single training session that they put out. And the amount of times they're crossing it and he comes out for the cross and catches it. But as soon as he's under pressure in the game, he seems to just go AWOL. And it's a basic for a goalkeeper to command your box and say keepers or whatever. But he seems to come out, it goes over him, and then the defenders are scrambling to help him out. And Romero at one stage was having a go at him because he was in no man's land. And Romero's like, what are you doing? Like, come and get the ball sort of thing. So them two... Vicario, don't get me wrong. I'm sounding like I don't like him as a goalkeeper, but he does a lot of good things too. But it's just some of these things that he does are going to cost us in big games. Like if it weren't for Van de Ven in the Europa League final, he could have cost us then as well, because he came out, couldn't do anything with the ball, and it went straight to Højlund, I think it was. So, if we get to a cup final again and he does something like that, I think a lot of Spurs fans will be, upset, because we've been seeing it for a while now. What about you?
No, I agree with you totally. I'm not going to be as positive on Vicario. I don't like him. For me, he's not the one. Makes too many mistakes. For me, I think he should have maybe done better with the Leeds goal at the weekend. I think, he made a couple of decent saves in the second half, but I'd expect any Premier League keeper to save those kind of shots. Even the one he pushed out and he celebrated, he pushed it straight out into the danger area, and if it wasn't for a doggy heading the ball out, they could have scored. For me, he could have caught the one against Wolves, and for whatever reason he didn't. You're right, he doesn't command his box. He is shaky as anything on set pieces, and it's not just him, like you say. It then translates onto the defense, and if you've not got that keeper behind you that this keeper's coming out and he's going to clear us all out and take the ball. If you don't have that, you are constantly thinking what's going on from this corner or free kick or whatever. So for me, Vicario is a problem. Yes, he pulls some good saves off, so he's been a major disappointment for me. Saying that, I have done videos like Kinski or Vicario. Kinski's not quite there either. I think he's very good with his feet. He is a lot more calm and a lot better at crosses, but probably not as good a shot stopper. So it depends what you want, isn't it? It's picking your poison. But for me in the summer, I would be looking to replace Vicario, definitely. I think probably has to make Richarlison, but I don't expect anything more from him, to be honest. I was amazed when he scored those 2 goals. Richarlison's Richarlison. Yeah. He will come up with a couple of absolute blinders this season. You'll be like, wow, what a goal. And then he will do nothing for 6 or 7 games. So, they would be the 2 for me as well. Bit disappointed with Spence over the last couple of weeks. I think he's dropped off a little bit. But didn't mention it earlier when we were talking about players that done well. Absolutely chuffed about Udogie. He's come back into the squad after his injury, and I think he looks good. I think he needs to improve his crossing, gets into the final third, needs to improve his final ball. But I think under Frank, we're going to see a massive upturn in Udogie and a much better player going forward. I don't know what you think about Udogie.
Yeah, Udogie has impressed me a lot, and the reason why he looks better is because he's a left-footed left-back, and it's very hard for Spence to get forward on his left foot. He wants to cut inside, and then when he cuts inside, you've got Xavi either in there or whoever's playing number 10 like Bergvall. So it just brings us more balance when you've got Udogie. Yeah, his cross has been poor, but I think he was an excellent ball to Kudus that he blasted over the bar against Leeds. I didn't even see Kudus coming on the screen because I was watching it at home, and I didn't even see him coming into the screen. So he's looked up, he's picked out a pass that should have been a goal. So he could have got an assist there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he needs to improve his aerial crossing. I think like he's good across the ground. He's really good at banging it across the floor. Like, I think he got used to it under Ange, I think, but he needs to be able to chip it. And I think they were practicing that in training, weren't they? Getting him to chip it across the goal rather than always banging it along. It makes him more unpredictable if he can do both. But he's been excellent. He's been good going back as well. He's been good defending. He's been linking up really well with. I'll tell you what, the best link up he's done this season so far was with Odeberg against Leeds. I think them two worked really, really well together. And with Xavi coming over to that left-hand side as well, it caused a lot of problems, they did. So I'm looking forward to seeing that partnership again. It really brought the best out of Odeberg, to be fair. And Udogi's been very, very good this season since he's been back.
Yeah, no, I agree with you about and I agree with you about Odegaard as well. I think for me it was time to pick a player, whoever it's going to be on the left, and just play him. You know, whether that's for 5 or 6, 7 or 8 games, just play him every game. Let him get his connections with the players, you know, and you can see that he's starting to connect with Udogi. He's starting to maybe connect with Simmons as well. So yes, we 100% need to improve that left side, but actually I think Odegaard's done okay since he's come in. You know, he's not set the world alight, but he's getting better with every game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Odegaard can do going forward. But is it fair to say now that the run up till Christmas will give us the best indication of where Spurs are now under Frank?
Yeah, and I think expectations are going to go up and down throughout the season. And we've got some very, very tough games over that period as well. And it's going to show us where we are. And not only that, it's going to show us where our squad is, because I think it's absolutely vital that we keep Romero and Van der Ven fit, because we've seen what happens when they're not there, and it makes a massive, massive difference, not just defending wise, but also progressing the ball wise, because those two are so good at progressing the ball forward. Like you said, with Van der Ven's hard passing out and Romero passing in between the lines, they're so important for everything we do. And if we lost them, touch wood, that doesn't happen throughout that Christmas period, we're going to have a very, very difficult Christmas period, because not only are we missing them for the matches, whoever takes their place is going to have to play twice per week, which means they're going to get tired as well. And that's when a lot of mistakes are going to happen. That's when chances are going to be created against us more. So it's vital those two stay fit. Also, injuries in general, we need to be hopefully keep our squad together through that period. Because remember, last season, we lost, I think, 9 of our first 11 through the Christmas period. And we was losing every week. And I'm not surprised. Like, if you lose your 9 best players and you're trying to play twice per week, it's almost impossible. We had to play 18-year-olds in the Europa League just to try and get over the line in that. We had about 4 18-year-olds playing at one stage in the first team for the Europa League game. So it's vital we keep players fit if we can. I can see us getting through that Christmas period in a healthy position. I'm not going to change my opinion on where I think we'll finish. I still think it'll be around 6th. We've had a much better start than I expected. I am expecting us to not drop off, but not gain as much points as other teams. So, like, the teams I think will creep up near us are City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal's, even Newcastle, I think, are an excellent side. It's going to be very, very tough to keep up with them throughout the whole season. But yeah, it's vitally important we keep players fit.
No, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think this next month or two is vital. I think we are going to pick up injuries. We are probably going to pick up suspensions. So for me, as a fan base, it's important that we don't lose our minds when Romero's left out of a League Cup against Newcastle, or Van der Ven's left out of a Champions League game because, we need to rest him, or, not get too worried if Adanzo comes in. If Dragic, he must be close to fitness now, comes back. a Takai who we've not seen yet. Again, he's back in training. Is he going to be fit soon? We are going to have to rotate this squad to keep everyone fresh and keep everyone fit. And like you say, with the injuries we had last season, we had to just play players, and players were playing twice a week, and it was always going to happen. So for me, we need to rotate, and as a fan base, we need to understand that we need to rotate and not be so hard on Frank, I guess, because I'd expect us to play a weakened side against Newcastle in the cup. Though I'd love us to win a cup, we can't just keep flogging the players, can we, and play them every week.
No, that's 100% right, mate. And I remember the meltdown against Boda Glimt when we didn't have certain players in the side. And I think Romero's precaution, wasn't it? And I just think he did the exact right thing, because when else is he going to be able to rest them? Boda Glimt is a good side when you go to their home ground. They are a good side, but they're not on the level of an Ellen Road Leeds United. Like, that was the harder game for me. That's a harder game. So he had to have the lesser of two evils and went, right, when can I save my players? And he had to choose Boda Glimt. I think he did the complete right decision. He ended up getting a draw out of it, which I thought was fantastic, considering they were the better side and we were 2-0 down. We still found a way. And then obviously we got the win at Ellen Road, so it worked out perfectly. It could have gone, badly, and we could have lost both, but we didn't. So he has to rest them at some point. There's going to be big games where our big players are going to be missing, because they have to be at some point. When you're playing twice per week, every single week, and so let's say I think we've got a run where we've got Chelsea, Arsenal, and a Champions League game in between as well. At one of those games, you're going to have to rest somebody at some point, even though they're all big games. And that's what happens when you become a Champions League side. You need the squad to be able to cope with it. And squad-wise, I don't think we're super, super strong. But when everyone's fit, we can handle it, in my opinion, especially with more pragmatic, defensively minded Frank at the moment. He can get us over the line in hard games when we are struggling to put all our best players out.
I agree, and we have got a lot of, we kind of think that, we're doing our squad-wise, we haven't got too many injuries, but actually when you look at it, we have got quite a lot of long-term injuries. Obviously, Maddison out, Kudus still out, Mwani's not kicked the ball for us really, Solanke. That's a lot of forward players that are out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dragishin as well, and Takai, who we've not seen. So we have got players to come back that are going to improve this squad. But talking about improving the squad, what is the one position you feel we need addressing in January? Is it the left-hand side for you?
Yeah, I think I've already answered this, mate. It's definitely, if like I heard reports, they could be fake news or whatever. You know how many ITKs come out nowadays, but I saw one yesterday that said Bournemouth have said if you put 100 million down in January, we'll sell him. Now, if that was true, then there'd probably be about 20 teams with 100 million in their pocket thinking we should put that down. Because for me, that left-hand side, and this is even if Odegaard and Tell start hitting form, we should still sign Semenyo. He is that good. He is an absolute monster. He's brilliant. And if we, like we said earlier in the video, if we signed a Semenyo and had Semenyo, Kudus and Xavi, and maybe a Solanke or Mwani up front, that's frightening. That's absolutely frightening. It's one of the best in the league already, and it would really annihilate some of the Champions League teams as well. So not all of them, but some of them. And the left-hand side, if you can get a player of that caliber, then yes, sign that. Then sign them. But if you're getting a player like in the left-hand side and you're signing, a prospect for the future, or you're signing an average player, then I won't want anybody to be there. Just give it to Odegaard or Tell and just let them, develop in that position, or even bring Mikey Moore back and try and develop in that position. But yeah, so if you're going to sign a left-hand side, it's got to be a Semenyo level or Savinho level or something like that to really push us on. If you're not going to sign that level of player, then don't do it at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It was go big or go home now for me. We've had these 2 or 3 offers that Spurs have had to buy the club from outside parties that Tottenham are rejecting and saying Tottenham's not for sale. Well, if that's the case, and Enoch have said, the Lewis family have said they're going to put money in. We want Spurs to be good on the pitch. It's all right saying it. You got to do it. And if Semenyo costs 100 million, stick 100 million down and show the fans that you mean business. Guys, if you haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, please subscribe to Tottenham Logic TV. His link will be in the description. Mate, we will end the show with the Tottenham youngsters. Talk me through the Tottenham youngsters that excite you, the players that may be coming through that maybe in the future could be stars at Tottenham.
Okay, so I'll start with Williams Barnett. Absolutely insane talent. He plays in the number 10 role. He's skillful as anything. He's already playing for the under 21s and he's only just turned 17. He's just signed his first contract for Spurs. And he is absolutely electric on the ball. He scores goals from the halfway line. He dribbles past 6 or 7 players at once. He gets assist after assist. He scored a hat-trick against Leicester under 21s when he was 16 years old. He's just recently scored 2 goals, I think, for the against Newcastle under 21s as well. He's already made an appearance for the first team at age 16, and he did okay, to be honest. He looked pretty confident and looked like he wanted to do what he does against the youngsters. He's already way above the level he's at, and he's playing against players that are 4 years older than him. So we do this all the time, though. We think, they're excellent, they're brilliant, and then they never make it into the first team. But I honestly believe this guy, if even when you listen to him talking, because I saw an interview with him, he's also, in the interviews, he's got his head screwed on. He knows where he wants to be. He's got his vision. His dream is to play for Spurs first team, like all the youngsters. But he's just got this vision in his head that it's going to happen. In his mind, it's going to happen no matter what. And he's always willing to learn. He's just an excellent all-round number 10. And, his work rate is insane as well. He's got everything you need for a number 10. I don't think he'll break in this year. I don't think it might even be next year. I think he'll go on loan at some point next season. But once he does, everyone will see him. And then I think by the time he's, I'd say, 19 years old, he'll probably be in and around the first team squad, in my opinion. And then the second guy I want to talk about is Luka Vuskovic. He's out on loan now at, where's he out on loan? Oh, Hamburg in the Bundesliga. Some of the stats I want to give you is insane. He's won 81% of his duels as an 18-year-old. That's higher than any other defender in that league, no matter what the age is. He's top of the list for interceptions, top of the list for duels won, top of the list for aerial duels won. He also broke a record recently, 18 aerial duels won in one game. And that was out of 20. So he almost won 100% of those duels as well. And it's a record for the last 5 years in the top 5 leagues in Europe. So it's an insane stat. They love him in Hamburg already. He's got 2 clean sheets and he's already scored a goal. We can see we saw him in pre-season scoring as well. He got a goal and assist in about space of 10 minutes. He's an absolute monster. He's 6'4". His positional play for an 18-year-old is exceptional. He's like you say, he keeps winning interceptions all the time. Lots of German clubs already circling him like sharks. Dortmund have already asked about him. Bayern Munich are keeping tabs on him already. He's standing out already. He started off in the Polish league, didn't he? Absolutely dominated at the age of 16. He was dominating that league. And then he went to, where did he go next after that? It was Belgian league, wasn't it? He went to the Belgian league after that at age 17, completely dominated that, scoring overhead kicks, scoring 8 or 9 goals that season as a centre-back. And then he's gone into the Bundesliga now, and all of a sudden he's excelled again. Every time he gets put in a position, he excels. So what I'm 100% certain of this guy, when he comes into the Premier League, he's going to excel in the Premier League as well. He's absolutely insane. And I think after this loan spell in the Bundesliga, I think he's going to be in our first team squad next season for sure. He's that good. People are offering money for him already. Spurs have said he's not for sale. He's brilliant. What about yourself, mate? Who do you think's coming through?
Yeah, I'm very much the same as you. Really like the look of Luca Williams-Barnett. I think he looks like a top player. Like I say, he is young. Let's watch him develop. I think you're right. I think he'd probably end up going on loan maybe next season. Have a season in men's football, maybe in League One or something, see how he does. But definitely in 2 or 3 years' time, I see him being a top player. Let's see how he develops. Vuskovic, I'm really excited by. Obviously, saw him in pre-season, looks really good. You know what? One of the things I like about Vuskovic, he's got nothing to do with football, is the fact that he knew, and he was the first one to come out, I want a loan. I'm not ready to play for Spurs. I want to go out on loan. Whereas most players, wouldn't say that. He was very much like, I don't think I'm ready for Tottenham first team football. So put me out on loan. And like you say, he's smashing it again so far in Hamburg. Early days, of course, but it seems to be wherever he goes, he excels. And I'm really excited to see what Vuskovic can do. I think you're right. I think maybe next season he will be in and around the first team squad. And then we look at Mikey Moore, who would be the other one. I haven't really seen a lot of other youngsters, but Mikey Moore for me, really disappointed with his loan at Rangers because I thought it would be a good loan for him. But the manager, whose name escapes me now, has just been sacked. Um, just not a very good manager at all, and I don't think Moore's been used right. And I'm hearing that Spurs may be able to recall him and then maybe send him out on another loan. I think if he can get a good championship side, get some first team football, and then going forward, we might see more back in the next year or two. But yeah, Moore would be the only other one for me. I don't know if you've seen anyone else, but they would be my three.
In Moore's defence as well at Rangers, Rangers are eighth. Rangers are never eighth. So they've had a really poor season themselves. So we can't expect an 18-year-old to excel in a team that's eighth with no confidence. I think the whole team altogether have only scored 6 goals for the whole team. So he's not going to excel in place. I don't think the players really believed in the manager, so they're not playing for him. So that's making it even harder on him. It's a really toxic atmosphere with all the Rangers fans as well. So if there's a lot of Spurs fans out there that are thinking Moore's not good enough, just look at the circumstances first before he gets judged, because I don't think any player would have succeeded there. I don't think any 18-year-old would have succeeded there, how toxic it was there. And now that they've got rid of the manager, I think Spurs are looking at actually recalling him from Rangers and maybe putting him in the Championship side, which I'd really like to see. I hope they do that. Regarding other players that are coming in, the youth players wise, I'd say Junai Byfield looks really good. He's very good on the ball. I said this in my video I did the other day. If you want to manufacture a defender, then you get Junai Byfield. He's got the pace. He's good on the ball. He's good in the air. He comes out with the ball like Van der Ven does. He just runs out with it. He's got a good pass on him, and he can score goals as well. So he's for his age, I'm not saying like he's the complete footballer. Just before everyone jumps down my throat, I'm saying for his age, he's got all the attributes that you need. And like we always know, it doesn't matter how good you are at youth level, you've got to prove it in the top level. So I understand that, but you've got to see potential, and the potential he has is pretty high in my opinion. And I think he will go places. If he doesn't manage to break into the Spurs team, he will make it somewhere. He really will. He's a very good defender. Trying to think of other players that are out on loan. Alfie Devine's doing all right, isn't he? He's not doing too bad. But the problem with Alfie Devine is, and a lot of people are getting excited about him, is he's 21 years old now. He plays in the number 10 role, and we've got Xavi Simons, we've got Bergvall playing in there now. We've got players coming through like Barnett Williams and things like that. Is that position going to be filled by Devine, or is he going to be sold on? I think he's more likely to be sold by Spurs, just because of his age now. Like, if he doesn't get a chance this year and he gets sent out on loan next year again, I can't see him breaking into the team. Even though I do rate him and I think he's a really good player, I just don't think he's going to be at that level for Spurs. What do you think of Alfie Devine?
No, I agree 100%. I think these kind of players are out on loan currently to championship sides. You You got the same with Donnelly as well. I think he's another one who is a good player, but I think he'll end up being a good championship player. I don't think he's going to end up at Spurs personally. I think we will end up selling him. And the same with people like Lancashire. Really like Lancashire. I think there's a player in there. From when I've seen him playing for Spurs, I quite like him. I think he's better at holding up the ball than Richarlison. But
Yeah, definitely.
I don't see him making it at Tottenham. I think he'd be a good championship striker, good League One striker. Um, but yeah, I think the 3 or 4 that we've talked about, I think they're the ones that excite, maybe that could make it at Spurs. I think other players that are currently on loan in the Championship and lower probably will be sold on in the next year or two. Um, but yeah, I think that's where I am with the younger players personally. And we got likes of Madison to come back as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And Kulu. So it's going to be very
Oh
hard
yeah,
to break into that number 10 role. And that's the main reason, really. I think because the first team I think the first team is quite strong, to be honest. Like, I know there's a couple of positions we can improve on, but the first team is pretty strong. So then you're thinking, well, can they get on the bench? And then you look at the bench players and they're not too bad either. So it's very hard for these youngsters to get through now. They have to be exceptional to get into that side. And like I said, Vuskovic is exceptional. He will get into that first team squad 100%. Another one we haven't mentioned is probably Yang Min Hyuk. He's starting to do all right now at Portsmouth in the Championship. Scored a couple of goals now, hasn't he? Last 2 games he scored. But it's not just that. He's adapting well now. All players, we've got to remember as well, all players adapt at different levels. Like you can see, like Harry Kane, he didn't adapt until he was like 21, and that's when he started becoming a much better player. And he was given the chance to as well, which really does help. So Yang, at the moment, he's definitely not at the level to play in our first team squad. Still not. I think he's at Championship level. He's doing very, very well. His decision making's a lot better now. His movement's better. He's dribbling past players a lot more now, so his confidence is getting better. But he's still not at that level. I do think he'll have a good season this year, and I think he'll be loaned again next season. And if he develops even better the next season, then he's got a good chance. But at the moment, he is a Championship level player. And that's not being harsh. He's 18. Do you know what I mean? So it's good to be at Championship level at that age. So it's not knocking him. It's actually giving him, that's actually a positive.
Yeah, no, I agree. From what I've seen of Yang at Portsmouth, he looks decent, scoring a few goals, a couple of really nice goals as well.
Mm.
And looking like a really good player. And I think you're right. I think he will probably go on loan again next year. I think it's also helping Spurs with the fact that obviously he's come from abroad, he's getting used to English life, he's getting settled in England, and by the time he comes back to Tottenham, hopefully, he'll be more accustomed to the English way of life, and he will, yeah, he will thrive. And we need. It'd be nice to have another Korean. Is he Korean? Another Korean.
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
He plays for South
Yeah.
Korea,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, another Korean on that left-hand side again, hopefully one day. But yeah, mate, I think we will leave it there. We've been going an hour. Thank you
Wow,
so much for
that's
joining me.
gone pretty fast, actually.
It has. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed our conversation today.
No, thank you for having me on, mate. It's been enjoyable, actually. Really, it actually went really fast. I don't think we've been talking for an hour already. So yeah, thank you for having me on, mate.
No worries, mate. And please, guys, please like and subscribe and get over to Tottenham Logic TV and subscribe to him. He is chasing out, you're nearly at 3,000 now, yeah? Not too far
Yeah,
off.
I'm roughly about 50 away now from 3,000. So
Nice. Let's
yeah,
get
I'm
over.
really that's like one of those milestones that you want to get over, and it seems to be dragging. But yeah.
Yeah. So guys, let's go over and help him get to 3,000. We will leave it now, and I'm sure we will be back at some point, probably maybe towards Christmas time, and talk about hopefully how well Spurs are doing and not how badly Spurs are doing.
Otherwise,
So
I have to
guys,
start making excuses.
Yeah, exactly. Take care, all the best, and as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.